Gemini, welcome to your mid-April 2022 General Tarot update. It's Serena here. Oh my goodness, all these pentacles. Oh man, I just got a new tripod, and okay, you can't see. And I was just like so happy, it's working, and then it started falling back, forward. So hopefully I can figure that one out. But anyway, I did pick additional cards because of the nature of those cards. I'll explain when I get there. The heart of the matter is the Knight of Pentacles, and this can be the workhorse energy that's associated. This card is associated with Taurus, so I guess it could be a Taurus person as well. But in the past position is the Seven of Pentacles, which you see, this is really a great depiction of the Seven of Pentacles as far as I'm concerned, because the person, they've got those roots in the soil, and the person is really watching this plant grow, but it still is at a delicate stage. It's, the person is still trying to make sure that this plant is going to actually grow. And so there's that sense of kind of nurturing it along. And that can mean that you have to show patience with some kind of endeavor, but you may also be just working a day job, and like if you've started a business, you can be working a day job as you are tending to your growing seedling, and it's like kind of telling you have to have patience as you put energy into this thing. And eventually, if it's meant to be, it's going to, really start to flourish. The higher message is the Ace of Swords. I really like the depiction of this card. It's kind of like that shell, but it's kind of like, the illumination at a higher level. Your swords being an air sign, Gemini, and it's really having that clarity of thought so that you can move ahead and pursue new things. And there may be something within yourself that isn't there yet, that you're not clear about something. So an example, just given what I've just been talking about, if you are like, I'm not sure if I'm this side business that I've started, that if I can make it a full-time business, and you don't have all the information, then it is what it is. It doesn't mean that you can't keep plugging away. I think Gemini, being a very kind of changeable sign, can get bored very easily with something. That's a Taurian energy. That's why I think the Knight of Pentacles is in the middle there as a Taurian energy, because you have to be consistent. And if you just kind of throw in the towel because something isn't manifesting right away, you might quit before you see the harvest. But by the same token, some people are very stubborn about things, and they're pursuing something that really isn't aligned for whatever reason. And I thought in my mind, if you have Mercury or Mars in Taurus, I'm talking to you if you're a Sun in Gemini, because you may have that, like, especially with that Mars energy in Taurus, you may be like, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to like double down if I don't see any results. And it might not be smart to do that. You have to really like take stock in what you've done and see if it really does have, legs, as they say, if it's really something that's going to take off. Because then you're just, some people, they're just so stubborn, they don't even stop when they should. And some people are too quick to throw in the towel. It's like two extremes. What crosses you is the Lover's card. And this is, this can be a choice. This is actually connected to the sign of Gemini. I wonder how many of you realize that. And, but it's in the challenge position. So I'm going to also look at this from a relationship standpoint. The Knight of Pentacles can be somebody in your life who is very steadfast. And they might be a literal earth sign like Taurus or Virgo. I would say Virgo out of all the earth signs, or Capricorn. And you may, have been seeing them for a while, but you're not sure if it's going to work. But really, with the Ace of Swords, the higher message is saying that you have to really look at the situation from the perspective of your own motivations. Sometimes you may be just, so used to doing things spontaneously or whatever on the spur of the moment, and you're not really thinking, hey, this is somebody that I can grow old with. But I'm acting as if there has to be this constant excitement when this person has been the most steadfast person I've ever met in my life. So it can be a choice. And also the Lover's card in the challenge position can be not wanting to get close to someone truly intimate, that I always say, like, with the 8th house, that's a house of intimacy, but people think of sex because that's part of it, but that can be a substitute for the real thing, meaning the emotional intimacy. That can take a lot of guts to actually embrace and be willing to deal with. What's coming in is a 5 of Pentacles, and this is a card of lack consciousness. You can see the person very kind of forlorn, and this is kind of like, quitting, or I wouldn't say quitting, but like seeing what you don't have. So going back to my other example, if you don't have a certain situation that you were hoping that you were going to have, I'm talking about in terms of turning a profit, and all you can do is think, I'm never going to turn a profit. And I understand, I've said this before, that when I first started on YouTube, and that's almost 7 years ago, I didn't get a sale for 2 months, and I was just about to throw in the towel. Because, and that would have made sense. After 2 months and getting thousands of, views on my videos, I thought, well, what, how long is it going to take? And I'm hearing about, and it was like other people were able to do it. Like, so I guess it isn't meant for me. And I was right about to just give up. And then I got my first sale, and then it just, flowed after that. And it's very interesting how that can happen. And you have to really believe in yourself first and foremost. But you also have to believe that you can attract abundance. That's what the 5 of Pentacles, that fear-based lack consciousness, that comes when people are just trying to depend on that thing. So Knight of Pentacles is, that's another thing about the Knight of Pentacles, is showing up consistently. So I belong to this group on Facebook, which is about, having your own business and stuff like that. And one of the things that I've noticed from newbies, people who are trying to make it happen, who haven't done it yet, is how much a lot of times they have very um, what's the word? Very unrealistic expectations. And so obviously they're going to get disappointed because they think they're just going to just break through and go viral right away, or they think that they're going to just turn a profit right away, and they don't have that ability to kind of that sit with that discomfort of like what happened to me, of making videos for 2 months straight and not having a sale. It's not, see, the thing is, even saying that sounds kind of crass about having a sale. It's like you have to do things for more than just the money. You have to really believe in what you're doing, especially if you're trying to help other people. And then everything else, I think, will follow if it's meant to be. And then the outcome, this was only one of 3 cards that I picked. Five of Cups. And this is a card of grieving the loss of something. So it is possible that something that you thought was what you wanted, maybe that isn't for you. And that's something that you have to really know within yourself, Gemini. That takes self-knowledge. And that's another thing that some people are lacking. They don't have that ability to gauge what is true for them, what is good for them. And that comes from, to me, not being aligned with the true self. And so the person may overestimate some of their talents, and they may underestimate other talents. And so if you've done something that wasn't really realistic to begin with, then maybe you will have to let it go. If you're in a relationship with someone and that person is showing you a lot of interest and they are there for you, but you are still hung up on somebody else, you may have to grieve that loss. You may not be ready for a relationship, at least a healthy one, if you have been involved in other relationships. So I picked a couple more cards, and I just don't like to end on certain cards. I just don't feel that they, it's, I guess you could say in some ways that there's a negative aspect to them, but I also don't think there's a resolution. So this is about the old tapes in your head. And so maybe that's part of what the Five of Cups is about. If this is a relationship issue, you may have the inability to be attracted to healthy people because you have a background of trauma, abuse, and you just have to get your head on screwed on straight in that sense. And that takes some self-awareness. And I think that's what the Ace of Swords is about, is self-awareness. Also with Eight of Swords, this can be a card of maybe if this is business related, that you come from a family that nobody ever worked for themselves, and they're not supportive of you. They're trying to kind of convince you that this is unrealistic, and that's their stuff, and you have to not listen to them. And then I picked the Four of Wands, and this is a beautiful card. This is a card of a happy home, a new home. There's excitement with this card, but it has a domestic vibe to it. So what it could be saying is that maybe if you create a space in your domestic environment for your creative projects, that is going to be somewhere you could revisit, and you can kind of stoke yourself up and get into those creative juices flowing, and then it kind of picks up from there. When you're coming from a deficit, when you're coming from lack consciousness, it's hard to create something that is that other people respond to in a positive way. So you have to, it's kind of like you're building up this positive energy that just will transfer onto the work that you're doing, and other people will be able to feel it. It'll be palpable. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that this resonated with you. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.